This is really, really important. The energy you put out into the world is what you get. Good energy, good humans, good responses, good return on investment. For an investment return, you're gonna get way more out of it when you give it. Negative energy will yield you negative returns, negative thoughts, negative mindset. Give that to the world, that's usually what you're gonna get. If you go into the world with a ho-hum attitude, you're probably getting ho-hum out of the world. If I walk into a room with a bad attitude, guess what I often get back? A bad attitude. If you walk into dinner at night with your family and the first thing you say to your family is not positive, probably not gonna work out so good for you. There are all these things I say to my kids and our teammates and everyone around me every day that probably could be written right underneath my entrance as I come in. One is, you are the energy that you put out in the world. You are the energy that you give to the world. I firmly believe this. I live it. I have always believed it. And the reality is, if you're positive and you are driving to success and you're helping people, you're putting a positive energy out into the world. If you're truly listening to the person talking to you, you're putting a positive energy into the world. If you're trying to help people in general, there's an energy. If you're smiling, simple things like a smile. You know, they taught us back in the old days when you made sales calls in one of my first jobs that if you smiled when you were on the other end of the phone, the person would know. And you know, it's funny, but the reality is you can tell when someone's smiling and talking to you. Call the cable company or call somebody about your internet or something that frustrates everybody and smile the whole time you talk to them. It'll be a better call. It will be a better call. See, the things I want my kids to know most is that we are the energy we give the world. And if I go into every situation and I'm not interested in who I'm meeting with across from me or what event I'm going into, I've got to build myself up to where I'm positive so that I can provide optimism and a feeling of good energy. If I love my neighbor as myself, I'm going to provide that same energy to the world. It also works the same way. If I love and take care of myself, that energy is infectious to other people. They follow it. People want to be that version of who you are when you're at your best. And I can flip it around. If you're super negative, it's really easy. I can tell you I've been on many a soccer fields really frustrated at the result that's happening and talking to a buddy of mine who also played soccer forever, and we can get in a negative loop in 5 seconds. We can literally take this experience that we're loving and start tearing every single thing apart about the game, you know, like a fan does. We're fans of the game. And that negative loop can be infectious the same way. If I walk into a room with a bad attitude, guess what I often get back? A bad attitude. If you walk into dinner at night with your family and the first thing you say to your family is not positive, probably not going to work out so good for you. It probably won't work out so good for you. You are the energy you're giving. It's almost a great barometer. I mean, it's not almost, it is a great barometer for you to understand, what are you giving the world? Are you getting nothing but bad stuff right now? If you are, maybe that's all you're giving the world. Are you giving your best? Or are you just giving a representation of your best? If you're at work and you don't like what's happening in your job and you're not comfortable and you're just constantly complaining about your job, why? What are you doing about it? Do the people you work for know? Does your spouse know? Have you talked about what the opportunity is that you could take from this and learn and expand upon? These are all the things I think energy can really be a guide for in our lives. I get energy when I'm at the beach. I mean, I can't tell you the smile on my face. I love the way it feels to walk through the sand. I love the feeling of watching a sunset or a sunrise on the ocean or a body of water. There's something about being outside at the beach for me that puts my entire being at a relaxed state, which for me is a really big deal. It's hard to do. And I say that because that energy that I pull from the world is also important. I think you also have to understand this. If you're high energy, okay, this is really, really important. I am high energy. High energy means people will often in a day say, I don't know how you bring that much energy to every day. How do you have so much energy? How are you doing so many things? If I don't get that question once or twice a day, I think it would be a shock to me. Here's the reality. The older I get, the more I have to realize that energy that I'm providing the world, that energy that I am putting out there, the energy that I know I love so much, is also something that I have to know how to charge. There was a moment several years ago where I was playing soccer. In order to get the games in, they had to figure out the scheduling to where we had to have 10 and 11 p.m. games. Now, I was in my 30s, and it was something that I was like, oh, it's no big deal. I can do it. I love playing soccer. It's a Thursday night. We can recover by Friday. And it did not work well for me. I found myself finding napping to be something I needed. A 20-minute power nap became my go-to, and it gave me the recharge and the energy I needed to get through the day. The older I got, the more I found that 20-minute power nap was a part of recharging. Whether it's a part of my lunch, whether it's a part of my day, I will build it into my day. Almost every single day I take 20 minutes, even if it's just breathing, but sometimes it's closing my eyes, setting an alarm, and knowing that I'm going to actually reset, because I cannot possibly provide this level of energy to the world if I don't reset. I used to have this little car, this remote control car that I got for Christmas one year, and it was one of those awesome RC cars, and it had a big battery, and it ran for like 20 minutes. It was awesome when it ran for 20 minutes. Like, it was the best thing ever. But if I didn't have a battery backup and I didn't charge everything ahead of time, I might only get 5 to 10 minutes. I wasn't getting the best of that car. You are the same way. I am the same way. I'm coming at you from a place of where I am, what I do. In order to have the high level of energy, the positive energy I want to give the world, that I want to get back, I have to be all in. But I have to know how to recharge. And the older I get, I have to adjust and adapt. I feel more in tune and better at that today than I did 5 years ago, than I did 10 years ago, and than I really did 20 years ago. I've learned how to channel that energy into something really, really great. And I think that the more I'm able to do that, and the more I'm able to learn that strength, I also can learn how I can maybe avoid some of the blind spots, which are just our strengths turned up too loud. High energy is a gift I feel very blessed to have. The reality, though, is it can also be a bit of a blind spot. I can reference, we don't have enough time on a video that would actually keep people interested. I can reference 1,000 times in my past of growing up, whether I was a 7th grader at Catholic school, or a teenager, or a college student with high energy challenging the professor. I have learned from past mistakes that my high energy can be a strength of mine, but when turned up too loud, it can be a bit of a blind spot. I'm going to do a video on blind spots, and you can watch that video, and we'll potentially link it in the comments below later. But the reality is this: I learned how to tweak some of those blind spots and turn them down. And every once in a while, I still turn it up too high. I'm still too high energy. In the wrong crowd, too much energy can be the absolute worst thing in the world. There are families that are not like mine, that are really, really loud and really, really fun and exciting, and maybe they're fun in their own way, but they're really quiet and calm. And a guy like me coming in with that high energy can be the wrong recipe. So all I'm saying is, the energy you put out into the world is what you get. Good energy, good humans, good responses, good return on investment. For an investment return, you're going to get way more out of it when you give it. Negative energy will yield you negative returns, negative thoughts, negative mindset. Give that to the world. That's usually what you're going to get. If you go into the world with a ho-hum attitude, you're probably getting ho-hum out of the world. And here's the thing. When I talk about high energy, I talk about something that I believe is something I love to do. Good energy isn't high energy. So just to break that down just a bit more, good energy is just really feeling good, smiling, giving the world what you want out of it. So I encourage you today, tell me below, what is your gift? What are you giving the world every day that you feel like the return is so exponential because it's good juice, it's good mojo, it's good energy? How are you getting out of the world today the good energy you're providing it? Are you not giving enough? Are you not reaching the level of human potential you should be because the energy you're giving every single day is a quarter of who you are and what you can be? A lot of us are like that. Maybe you're high energy, high reward, you run a successful business and you're crushing it, but you know there's still a way to get to that next level and you want to figure it out. Maybe it's just doing more for the world, to the world with a smile. I'm Scott Danner. Thanks for joining me.